Welcome, welcome, Viv. You haven't met Gail yet. I thought it might be a good idea for us just to say a little bit about who we are and introduce ourselves to each other. Gail, would you like to start?
Yes, I'll make a start. So I'm Gail Longhurst, and I joined what was then Dorset Action on Abuse in 2008, and I've been counselling and supervising, working with clients up until we stopped doing the client work at the end of September. And in 2018, I had the privilege of being asked to become the current chair of Trustees. So that's about me.
And I'm Zoe Poole. I'm the Therapeutic Director of Hurting to Healing, previously Dorset Action on Abuse. And I've been involved in the charity since 2007, when Dr. Moira Walker commandeered me to come and work for the organisation.
Oh, and hello, my name's Vivian Allen. I'm the founder and clinical lead for Dorset Parent Infant Partnership, now known as DORPIP, helping families to flourish.
I would just like to give a little overview of the process that we went through in closing down Hurting to Healing, in how we were going to allocate the remaining funds. So we formed a group of four people, and that included myself, a previous chair of trustees, our current treasurer, and a current trustee. And our task was to make recommendations to the trustees as to how to distribute the funds that remained after closure of the charity, in accordance with specific criteria, which every charity had to be assessed under these criteria. So the funds must only be used to benefit adult survivors of childhood abuse. The organisation needs to be a registered charity that closely matches the Hurting to Healing mission and has a similar purpose, is financially and organisationally sustainable, and has an inclusive policy for service user involvement in the service. Plus, that the money will have a significant impact on the service that they can provide. So from an initial list of relevant charities, that we researched 12 charities in detail through exploring the Charity Commission, the charities website, and conversations. And as you know, we made direct contact with you to determine how well you and the other charities met the criteria, with the aim of reducing the list to 6 charities. So in our research, we found that there was no exact match to Hurting to Healing and to the exact work that we did. So the aim was to award to the charities that were in closest alignment to Hurting to Healing, to our mission and our ethos, and which would make a significant impact on beneficiaries. We ascertained that DORPIP, as a local Dorset service, met the H2H criteria, although from a different perspective, as you offer therapeutic support to parents of children under 2 who may be experiencing significant stress or facing problems within the parent-child relationship. And you have shared with us that a significant percentage of your clients are adult survivors or have experienced adverse childhood experiences. And we know from our work that childhood abuse and neglect can begin very early in a child's life. So your work and ethos is, of course, similar to the mission that we have, which is to end suffering of this client group. We know that you're financially sustainable and that service users are involved in monitoring and improving your service. And because the DORPIP service is wider than just supporting explicitly survivors, we were glad that you were able to agree that any funds would be restricted to use with parents who are adult survivors of abuse, neglect, or disclosed adult childhood experiences. Mm-hmm. And this is particularly fitting, I believe, and I felt so from the beginning, is because Dr. Moira Walker, before becoming a psychotherapist, had been a social worker working in child protection, which was one of the things that inspired her to go on to do the work that we know that she has done, because she knew firsthand the difficulties in early parenting and the importance of support and close contact for that early development in order to prevent abuse later on. So, you know, the preventative work that you do is so important, and I think entirely fitting. So the legacy group recommended to the trustee board that DORPIP should be strongly considered as recipients of the Hurting to Healing Dr. Moira Walk Legacy Fund.
Wow.
I will now hand over to Gail, who will share with you the trustees' process and decision.
Thank you, Zoe. So the legacy group attended one of two trustees meeting, and at that trustees meeting we had the opportunity to ask questions about why they had chosen 6 out of the 12. It was a very lively discussion, as you can imagine. And I think that both Zoe and I had the advantage in both doing therapeutic work. We very much understood the importance of those early childhood parenting experiences and the adverse effects that certain experiences can also have on children and on their development. We couldn't reach a decision at the end of that meeting. We got it down to 6 out of the 12. And at that point, we adjourned and called a second meeting, which was trustees only. And it was very much like a hot potato, trying to make sure that we did the right thing with this amount of money that we were going to allocate. So amongst the 6, we then allocated points. And each trustee voted 2 points if they strongly agreed, 1 if they partially agreed, and 0 if no way we were going to give them the money. And at the end of that process, we were left with 3 contenders. It was at this stage that a decision was taken that in order to maximize the benefit that we could make to charities, we would put it to 2 charities only. Just split the pot 50-50 down the middle. And then we felt that more could be done if we worked in that way. And delighted that DORPIP was one of those 2 in the final selection. Zoe, can I hand back to you on the next part of this?
Yes. So before we make the presentation, would you share briefly with us what are your hopes and intentions for utilising these funds going forward?
Yeah, first of all, I just wanted to say, listening to you sum up there what Moira's sort of vision was for what is now Hurting to Healing, but when she first started up, I did feel really emotional because it reminded me of my own journey of wanting to start DORPIP, really, and how important it is to end those cycles of adverse childhood experiences. So the difference that this legacy is going to make for us as an organisation, for me, is one of security, the circle of security that we hope to offer our families, but being able to have that secure base and foundation for our charity means that we will be able to feel much more solid in our offerings to those people we help and connect with. And as you quite rightly say, Zoe, a large proportion of our clients come to us already knowing and aware of the fact of their previous history and how that's impacting on them. But equally, we're finding increasing numbers of families coming to us who don't realise what they've experienced in childhood has led them to where they are today. So yeah, it's with great humility really that we've been chosen to continue on this work. But I feel really pleased.
Yeah. It's been quite an emotional day for both of us too. I have to share that with you. Thank you.
I bet it has. It's been a long journey for you guys, all of you. Especially Zoe, you've been involved for so long. We can continue the good work.
Thank you. As
Zoe has said, Dr. Moira Walk was absolutely fundamental as a co-founder with Anne Daniels of Dorset Action on Abuse, and she was the inspiration for the work of DAA and H2H. So on behalf of Moira and everyone at Hurting to Healing, we've got great pleasure in revealing the amount that we are going to donate to DORPIP for your very important work. Zoe, can we?
Thank you so much. It's going to make a massive difference. Yeah, we can, oh my goodness, that will enable us to actually employ somebody. We've all been very freelance, but that will give us that stability to be able to have a secure person leading us forward into the future. So yeah, amazing.
And that was a wonderful reaction, and I'm sure Moira would be delighted that it is going to go to such a good cause.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.